What's up, guys, and welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt, and today we are unboxing and reviewing the Iron Man Avengers Endgame model Mark 85. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, hit that notification bell too while you're at it so you can get updates on videos like this one. So, taking a look at this guy, you get a ton of options, and I was really happy with how this guy came together. We do get some variations when it comes to the hands, and if you are looking at the box right here, you can see that we get a nice little synopsis of the Mark 85 Iron Man from Marvel Select. We do get to have his gauntlet with the Infinity Stones, and you can see that we do get the variations when it comes to his arm and his different hands and blasters. So this guy was really cool, and we are going to get into it in just a minute. And we do get the nice Avengers Endgame logo running down the side of the box. And we do get a lot of good detail when it comes to the actual artwork. So diving right into this guy, you can see for the Mark 85 version, number one, look at the paint. So the painting and the detail on Iron Man himself, I really like the red and the gold and how it did turn out. There are a few spots on his suit, if you're looking at his lower legs, where they did kind of mess up a little bit. But I would say that overall, I think the paint and the detail as it came together, they did a very good job with it. I thought that his helmet turned out very well. And I think that the suit and the design of it, it was pretty true to how it came together within Endgame. Endgame being probably one of my most favorite Avengers movies and Marvel movies of all time so far. I was really excited to be able to get this guy and unbox him. Looking at the overall detail, I'd say that the paint is pretty much an overall win. We do have little shades and little hints of blue when it comes to the art reactor and on the back and his shoulders as well. Now moving over, we're looking a little bit more closely when it comes to his blasters and his hands. So moving down to the hands, we do have the changeable hands that will come in and out, and you'll see in just a moment as we change those guys out. On his back of his suit, you can see that we have a little bit of hint of blue coming up and down on the back corners and his shoulders. You do have one arm that can actually be changed out, so his entire forearm can be changed to go with the gauntlet itself that will change out in just a moment. When it comes to articulation was a little stiff with this one. I didn't like that for the head of Iron Man, you really couldn't move his head up at all. You can move his head down and swivel it a little bit, but it was very stiff. For his chest piece, you can actually crouch him downward a little bit, but he didn't have a ton of mobility. And like a twisting motion on him, he was a little bit stiff again and tight, so he can move a little bit, but not a lot. His legs did have good articulation, but I was a little disappointed when it came to his head. For Iron Man being able to fly, he couldn't look up. So it always looked like he had this downward pose when it came to his eyes and his mask, because his eyes are squinting obviously. So we couldn't get that height on him, unfortunately. Now as we move over, we're taking a look at the different hands that we get. So we swap these ones out from his blaster hands that are open, and now we have his closed fists ready for combat. Again, they did a really good job when it came to the fists. The one criticism that I will give is that I found that the hands on Iron Man were fairly small, and you'll see as we change over to the gauntlet itself what I'm talking about. But the hands themselves were a little bit too tiny, and Iron Man himself in this figure, while he stands in around 6 to 7 inches tall, he was pretty slim. I was kind of hoping that Iron Man would be a little bit bulkier. I don't want him to be big by any means, but I felt for the size of the figure and being in the Iron Man suit, he could have been a little bit bigger. However, he is in a Mark 85 suit, which is the nanotech, and it's going to be kind of slim to his body itself. But I found that his legs he was tall under the waist and the legs versus his upper body. So I found that the proportion may have been a little bit off. But when it comes to the hands, I did like that we get the variations of the actual fists. So when he is fighting Thanos, he can get the actual fists up. Now, as we switch over, we've switched out back to one of the blasters, and in the right hand of Iron Man, we actually have a gauntlet. And this is where I'm talking about that we have smaller hands. So when you're taking this one out of the box, you guys will see that the figure and the hand for the gauntlet itself, when he's snapping his finger, the hand is very tiny. Now, one of the great pluses that I will give, as you can see here, is the amount of detail that you actually get in the glove itself and down to the forearm that is changeable. So you can see that we have the Infinity Stones built into the glove. I really love how that kind of all came together, where you have the silver going down the glove and you have the different stones all kind of built in. So it allows for a lot of different posability. The rotation on it is great because it can go like full 360 for his hand itself. Again, what's really good is that we get the little bit of the green. Tony's got the full snap motion in his hand. It was really kind of true to the comic itself and to the movie. And we switch gears over here. We've switched out the arm, and we have Tony's hand, Iron Man's hand, and his glove switched out. So we do get another variation of the gauntlet. So instead of him having the snapped finger, this one you get the open arm and the open hand. We changed out the forearm and we were able to switch it with the gauntlet itself. So again, this is probably one of the better features of this figure, is the detail that they have with the gauntlet and what they did for Tony. The criticism that I will give this one is that we don't get a variation of the head. So we get the variations of the hands for Tony, but we don't get an actual Tony Stark face without the helmet, which would have been really nice because they were trying to mimic much more of what the movie was, with Tony actually snapping his finger towards the end. And it would have been nice if we did get one changeable, swappable head. And hey, if you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor if you can, like, subscribe, share, and check out the rest of our videos that we have, because we've been doing a lot of content when it comes to Marvel and DC and Transformers every single week. So overall, guys, my thoughts and impressions of this figure is that, yes, I do really like how they came together with the Mark 85, but I really wish that they would have done a swappable head and adjustments for his head itself and his helmet. But overall, I thought that this was